Hi, today we're going to talk about using the library search feature to find scholarly articles for your research paper. So if you come to the intranet, you'll scroll down to UC Library, you click on Library, and then it will bring you right to this spot, and it will hook you up with looking at two popular search engines for scholarly articles. One is EBSCOhost and the other is Gale Power Search. For education, I generally like to use EBSCOhost. You'll find that the more research you conduct as a student, there's certain databases are better for certain subjects. So if you're looking for something in in ProQuest, for example, and you're not finding it, perhaps look at EBSCO and things like that. So it'll bring you right here, and you can click to see all databases, but EBSCOhost is going to work well for us for this assignment. So you can type in your topic. So maybe you want to research autism. Okay, so you'll type in autism and click search. Now I'm already signed in. This is like the fourth time I made this video. So the next screen that you would normally get is a prompt to enter your LCC email and your ID. So that way we can ensure that only students and faculty are using this resource. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what we see here, because this can be kind of overwhelming. So if we're just searching for autism, we have about 174,000 articles that have been published since down here 1944 to 2021, because already you're at the end of the year, so things can get pushed out. So this is clearly too much. It's just way too many. So what we can do is you can come over here to select a field. You don't have to do this, but I want to show you this option because depending on the stage of your research, this can actually really expedite things for you. So you'll drop this down, and right now, if we don't select it, it looks for it in the title, in the author, in the text, in the subject terms, anywhere autism appears in a document, it got flagged. So that might not really be helpful for us. So you can use it just in the text. So if you just want it in the text, which is what I'm thinking you'll want initially, that's fine. But you can also look for a specific author. So say, for example, you want to find something written by Howard Gardner, let's just say, or Yuri Bronfenbrenner. You can type in, instead of autism, you can type in Howard Gardner or Yuri Bronfenbrenner, and then click the author button, and then that will show you what this search engine has that has been published by those authors, which can be helpful. Also a title. So if you know a specific article that you're looking for, you can type in the title of that article and then click title, and then you'll be able to see if LCC has that article or not. So that can kind of take some pain out of your search as well. But I'm going to leave it pretty broad. So maybe I want to know about autism and giftedness. And I'm going, now it gave me some search terms. So I'm going to say giftedness or talent or talented or gifted. So that way I get all of those synonyms, okay? So let's see what that does to my search. That cut it down to 2,000. All right, so that's pretty helpful. So let's go down and see how we can filter it some more. So I'm going to limit my search only to what LCC has available for full text. I encourage you to do this initially just to see what's available. This means that anything that you see listed here, so there's roughly 1,300 articles that talk about autism and giftedness in some capacity, that I can click on and I can read the whole article for free. I'm not just limited to a summary or the abstract, which wouldn't be helpful for a research project. You need to read the whole thing. So that limits me right to full text, so that's great. Just as an FYI, if you do find an article but LCC doesn't have it full text, you can always request it through interlibrary loan and get it. I used to do that all the time for my dissertation research, because sometimes you're really looking for specific items, and the library might not have it, but they can get it. Okay, so this is still too many, right? I'm not sifting through 1,300 results, so let's narrow it down some more. I'm going to click, I only want to see right now in the first go around, scholarly journals. So that's going to take away any textbooks that the library might have access to. It's going to take away any newspaper reports. It's going to take away any meetings, proceedings, or conference agendas, or government reports. It's going to take away all of those, and we're just going to get a scholarly journal. Not that those other things aren't important. Those other types of resources are incredibly important, but let's just focus on the scholarly journals for now. Now here we're saying, so what this means is that since 1986 to 2020, LCC has access to 438 full-text scholarly peer-reviewed journals about autism and giftedness. Still a lot. And plus, we know that research at this level needs to be limited to at least the last 5 years. So that way we're getting current. Like, I don't want to know for this topic, if we're talking about autism in 2020 and how children are identified, or what options are available for gifted and talented students who are also autistic, I don't necessarily want to know how that was done in 1986, right? I want to make sure I'm using current research. So I type in my parameters for the dates, and that still brought me to 195 scholarly peer-reviewed full-text journals, just written in the last 5 years. So so hopefully this will take away that issue where you say, I'm having trouble finding anything. We just weren't sure how to use this tool. So this is a wonderful tool to use. So now we can go through. Maybe we want to know autism, gifted and talented, and early childhood education, and I'm gonna expand it to preschool or kindergarten as well, because autism and gifted and talented, it could mean middle school, high school, adults, college. So in ECE field, let's limit it just to early childhood and see what happens. Haha! Now we got 5, much more manageable. So this is, so you can kind of go through here and see what we like. All right, let's look at this one, differences in teachers' verbal responses, okay? Okay, so we have here, we have the author. It came from the Journal of Intellectual Disability Research. It's 2018. And here's an abstract. So you can see the more you read scholarly journals, the easier APA will become for you. So this is what an abstract typically looks like. Just a brief summary of your paper. And here is all of the other identifiers. This is nice because it has the listen option, so you can listen to it while you're doing something else, or if you would prefer to have it read to you, you can. And you can jump around to different sections. And what's more important, let's come down here to the end. And here we have some references. So as you're reading any journal article, if you're finding something that you would like to learn more about, or there's a section that you're like, oh, this is important, and if your article is referencing another article, like that internal citations that we talk about, so if your author is using an internal citation, take note of that. Come down to the reference section and find out where you could find that specific article, and now you just got a second reference, right? So smart researchers use good articles to get more research on a topic. So maybe you want to talk about this article here. Well, it's 1995, so that's not a good example for us. Let's say 2013. Here we go. So using language environment analysis system in preschool classrooms with children with autism spectrum disorders, right? So maybe you want to find that. So you can take this author's last name, or you can take the title and put it in a search, and then you can see if LCC has access to it. Another thing I'd like to show you is the folder. So if you're going through and you really like this article, but you don't have time to necessarily read it right now, or you just want to, you're going to want to come back to it to reference it again, you can click Add to Folder, and then you come up here to your folder, And ta-da, there it is. So you can save your specific articles that you like right in this section. So you just want to make sure that you do sign in and you remember your password and all of that stuff, so that way you can have access to it. But it's a very handy tool. Please let me know if you have any other questions on how to search through using the library database, and happy researching, friends.